Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest episode of the Vandalia Cinema Project. My name is Trenton. I'm joined by my cousin and good friend, Bobby.
What is up, everybody?
And if you clicked on this video, you have fallen for our trap, because today we are reviewing Superman, the movie, from 1978, directed by Richard Donner. Please stay and listen to what we have to say, because it ties into the new movie, and it ties into Superman as a whole. I think you're really going to enjoy the discussion.
I'm pumped, personally.
All right, let's get into it, Bobby. What did you think? Just tell me the vibes.
Vibes of this movie. I got a few different vibes. I got a few different takeaways. I didn't like this movie that much.
That's awesome. I'm glad.
I think that'll be good.
I'm kind of glad, yeah.
I think it was okay. I think it's dated. And
it is dated.
The first hour of this movie sucks so bad. I think the first hour of this movie about couldn't be worse. The best thing about the first hour is the theme song.
A great theme song. Last week we talked about Hans Zimmer being the GOAT of musical scores, but that is forgetting about John Williams, who maybe is actually the GOAT. Because, considering he did Star Wars, he did this, and he did pretty much everything that's iconic that Hans Zimmer didn't do. So
I didn't know that. I'm not familiar with Mr. Williams' work.
Oh, yes.
Star Wars.
I don't, and honestly, the only reason I kind of like Hans Zimmer a little bit more than John Williams is because I kind of hear John Williams in everything he does. There was points of this soundtrack where I was like, Star Wars?
Yeah.
Am I watching Star Wars? Flying through space with the space soundtrack? Is this Star Wars?
It's reminiscent. The intro credits in the fucking 10-minute long intro credits
that was
okay. Insane. The theme song is sick though. That was what I was going to say. It reminded me of Star Wars for a minute because I've heard the Superman theme song recently in the new movie trailer.
Yeah.
And my first thought was like, "Holy shit, that's the Superman theme song." I forgot about that. And then it got to like the dun 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 dun, dun that's in the the
that's
actual.
So iconic.
Yes, it's
so
awesome.
Iconic.
It's so sick. But yes, I know exactly what you mean about the Star Wars thing. Sounds almost just like it at some points.
So I will say, originally, I'll get meta as we do. I wanted Bobby to watch Superman 1 and Superman 2 because I had heard that there was a controversy with the director Richard Donner where he was supposed to direct both, and then he got fired in the second one, and they changed it, and then they recently within like 20 years or something, 40 years after it came out, they released the Donner cut. So they released his version of the movie, which is
of Superman 2,
which I think is kind of interesting because we live in the era of Zack Snyder and his Superman and DC universe, and everybody wants to release the Snyder cut. So I just thought the parallel there was interesting.
That's cool.
Now, I looked it up, and the reviews for all Superman movies, Superman 1 and Superman 2 from this time period, are the highest rated Superman movies on Rotten Tomatoes that aren't animated. There's a couple of animated movies that have like 100%, and I don't know if they count. That's right. That's another topic.
A question real quick. What then you probably don't know off the top of your head. What is the 2006 Superman? Right, is that poorly received? Because that's my Superman. Like that was my childhood Superman. That's probably the only Superman movies I've ever seen.
Which is interesting, Bobby, because that movie is a sequel to Superman 1 and 2. Now, originally, there was 4 Superman movies. Mm-hmm. Superman, the movie, Superman 2, Superman 3, and then Superman 4, The Quest for Love. Superman 3 and 4 are the lowest rated Superman movies on Rotten Tomatoes. So I didn't want to review them. Superman Returns is I can't think of like the exact wordage, but it's like the spiritual. It's not even the spiritual sequel. It's the true sequel to Superman 2. It takes place like 5 years after the events of Superman 2. And
interesting.
Originally, I thought it was received extremely poorly. I went and looked on Rotten Tomatoes. It has like a 70 some percent critic score and then like a 60 some percent audience score, which isn't bad,
Right.
especially for like this era of movie and this era comic book movie. But I feel like I remember at one point in time it had like an 80% critic score and a 40% audience score. I don't know if they changed that much, or if I'm misremembering, because I felt like I misremembered Interstellar too. But I don't know if there's just like an influx where people can just review all the time. I kind of wish they had a setting on the.
To just turn it off or like go back to like the first year or whatever.
I would like to see like the true critic ratings, like when it was new to theaters, like what
Right.
that kind of influenced its performance, because obviously it must have influenced it a good bit, because there was a lot of plans for this era of Superman. There's hints of a Superman Batman movie coming out, and I'm sure they would have loved to made a sequel to Superman Returns if it
Yeah.
made a lot of money. So it must not have, and it caused another at least 7 years for a Superman sequel to come out. So, but you can tell how bad Superman 3 and 4 were, because it took 20 years to come out with another Superman movie.
Which is crazy. For as popular as Superman is, he don't have the movies. He ain't got the movies like that.
He doesn't really have the movies. I guess he has, well, 4 standalone
terrible
Superman
luck,
movies.
too.
I guess he has 7 movies, which is a lot, because there's 8 Spider-Man movies. Yeah, there's 8 standalone Spider-Man movies, and I bet there's probably 8 standalone Batman movies. But there might be 9, something like that. Batman, even though Superman is like the most notable superhero, Batman and Spider-Man have always been the most popular and cash efficient superhero.
Right.
So I think that plays a big part, because
Yeah, I got beef with, and I've always had beef with like Superman as a superhero. Kind of.
I used to, but now he is maybe potentially, he might be my favorite superhero, and I will explain why all throughout this episode. If you didn't notice, we did not do a spoiler-free review. We just wanted to do vibe reviews for this and then get into the movie. My vibe of this movie is I actually highly enjoyed it, and I was actually shocked at how much I enjoyed it. And I'll tell you all about it, since you ended up not watching it. I was utterly disappointed in Superman 2.
Really?
And and I was actually super shocked.
Well, by the reviews and description of Superman 1 that I looked at online before watching it, I would have thought this movie would have been fire. I thought it was going to be the best superhero movie ever made. I really did, because there was reviews that said that. They were like, this is the one, this is what all superhero movies should be, etc. So maybe I shit on it a little bit because the bar was set so high. But I also did see reviews for Superman 2 that said this one is not as good as the first one was. So with that in mind, I do bet 2 is pretty rough to get through.
Which is so unfortunate, because it has one of the coolest setups in movies, and it goes right into talking about Superman 1. So this movie, it did start, I love that it started with a comic book. Now this movie did feel, I will say this movie kind of felt like it is made for a kid.
Yes. That was pretty cool, though. The comic book part was pretty cool.
I thought the comic book part was really cool, but then we went into it. You were right. It's like a 10-minute intro, and I was like,
My God.
I thought about fast forwarding it, and then I said, no, I don't want to.
I sat down.
I used to have a policy that said in my mind, like if the credits play in the beginning of the movie, that movie's going to be good. I don't think that's true anymore.
I don't think so at all.
I think Tarantino just made me think that, because like a lot of his movies will just show like who's in it at the beginning and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was really long.
I popped a bowl of popcorn and I ate the whole thing before I got through the intro credits. It was crazy. I done tore up my popcorn.
And this might just be like a time period thing, but I wonder if because the credits are almost like a special effect. They're going through space and they're kind of like shooting at you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it could have just been like this era. They're like, look at what we're doing with the visuals. And
It was very Star Wars reminiscent in a way, but just longer and
but
actual
worse.
credits. Yeah, just
Longer
way
and
worse.
worse. Um, so what did you think? They start the movie on Krypton. Now, I almost don't care about Krypton unless it's like backfill for Superman. If that makes sense.
It
Like
make yeah.
I want to usually see Superman land on Earth, and then when he's like later maybe find out a little bit about Krypton, but
Yeah.
usually I don't want there to be too much about it, cuz like that was one of my big problems with Man of Steel, is that there's like a big huge action piece in the beginning all about Krypton, and there's like, which Man of Steel ripped off both of these Superman movies, Superman 1 and 2.
Right.
Ripped off is the wrong word. They tried to emulate them and they failed, and I will get into why later. But I thought Jor-El being Marlon Brando is crazy. I bet that I'm trying to think of like an equivalent, and it's kind of hard because nowadays big name actors do just play in hero movies because there's a lot of money in it. But
Yeah.
it's almost like, just imagine if like I'm forgetting his name, Gangs of New York, and the greatest actor alive,
Mm. I can't help you out with that one.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Okay.
Like imagine if Daniel Day-Lewis was Uncle Ben.
Right.
You'd be like, what the
Just
hell?
something crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, why is he playing this like kind of a minor role? But
Right.
why'd they get like such an like a and I don't know everything about Marlon Brando, but I know his name from
Right.
that era.
Yeah. I want to say I'm such a casual Superman enjoyer. I don't know anything. My history with Superman, like I said, I watched probably the 2006 movie whenever I was 5 years old. I've never seen any Superman except for that. Never read a comic by him. I know the story of Superman. I know the culture. I know some of the lore. But you talking about Krypton and the whole intro sequence, it cracks me up that we don't get off of Krypton for like
30 minutes.
it may even be longer. I'm not going to say we're on it for 30 minutes because we're definitely not. But by the time you sit through legitimately 10 minutes of intro credits and then probably 10 to 15 to 20 minutes of expo on there, and then baby Superman flies through space for another 5 to 10 minutes. It wasn't that long, but that's what it felt like. You don't leave Krypton until 40 minutes into the movie.
Yes.
And then the motherfucker just gets blown up. And I'm
Yes.
like, I don't care about that. Like you said, there's so much that you could feel. The
It's
coolest
just
part of this
so
movie,
secondary.
yes. And even then, like the Superman backstory of him being like a kid, you get like the kind of little bit of him in high school and, his dad, his adopted father dying and such. But the coolest part about Krypton and his father, his like actual father that you see, is whenever he finds the crystal and goes off to the North Pole or wherever he goes to and gets that exposition from his dad speaking to him. I feel like that's when the
Right.
movie starts, which is
Yes.
crazy because that is an actual hour into the runtime, if
It's
not
not
more.
quite. I don't think it's quite an hour, but it is a lot.
I didn't like this movie, y'all. This movie was some beans. It was some beans for real. We'll talk about it. It was just, I can't believe people are saying this set the standard, out of a superhero movie. Come on now. It was all right. Maybe it was the first superhero movie. Is it?
Okay, you still there?
Yeah, I was thinking out loud. This is not the first superhero movie. I googled it, but I'm
No.
asking you. It's kind of like a quiz. Okay, you passed the quiz.
No, I bet Captain America.
It is The Adventures of Captain Marvel, 1941. I don't know
Is that
anything
live
about
action?
that. Don't know.
The Adventures of Captain Marvel, which would have been Shazam in the modern speak.
Here's
That's
a Reddit
interesting.
post. The original Superman, 1978 with Christian Reeves, was the first superhero movie written for adults.
Okay. Maybe that's believable.
I could maybe believe that. This feels like I was thinking out loud. This people saying that this is like the best superhero movie and it sets the standard. I think the only way that you could get away with saying that is if it's number one. Because then yeah, sure.
I don't. There's
But I was
there
getting
there
a little ahead.
there
of
is
myself.
a lot I think that is good about this movie. I think I'm gonna try and sway you. And we're gonna backtrack. I'm gonna try and sway you on
Yep.
Krypton. Okay. Now,
All right.
obviously, they're using miniatures here.
Yep.
It doesn't look like 2001: Space Odyssey, of course, but it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look
Some
bad.
of it looks a little goofy. Some of the effects in this movie, they're not terrible. I don't want to misconstrue my words.
I can definitely
I'm playing the
tell.
role of a hater. Keep that in mind. But they do take me out of it at least a little bit. I do notice them.
It is crazy that I can tell that's a small miniature.
Oh,
That's a
the whole
miniature.
end of the movie. The
Yes.
whole entire end of the movie. I'm like,
I
damn,
thought a
they're
lot
playing
of it
with
looked good.
toys.
I
Yeah.
thought a lot of that looked good, but I thought Krypton, I thought it was okay. Now, however, they're in Krypton, and they're doing court for General Zod and his two goons, Ulsa
Yes.
and Ugg, or whatever his name is. He's basically a caveman. I thought that was shot so intensely and so interestingly because it showed them they had so much shadows on their face. It was very tense. And then they had the shadow, the hologram heads there voting. I love what Jor-El is wearing as a spaceman. I love Marlon Brando's fucking silver hair, and that he has a younger hot wife. I was eating that up. I swear I was. I thought Zod looked cool, and my favorite part about that is they didn't do fucking anything with it. You know?
Right.
And they do in the second movie, and I thought that was cool. I was like, wow, set up the second movie in the first movie.
I was going to say, yeah, maybe the second movie would sway my opinion on it a little bit more.
Well, but even just that standalone, them sending Zod to prison, which is funny. That's the same thing happens in Man of Steel. That's the same. The intro to Superman 1978 and the intro to Man of Steel 2013, I think, are almost identical. It is Krypton. Jor-El is the planet is blowing up, and this is honestly so interesting because this is a modern thing. It's with global warming and climate change is
Right.
People are the planet is dying, and just everybody's you're dumb. You're dumb. And they'll even be Jor-El, we know you're a genius, but obviously that's not going to happen. And I actually liked the whole part where they're you have to swear you'll shut up. And he's okay, we won't leave the planet, we'll shut up. And he very cleverly says, I promise that me and my wife won't leave the planet. Doesn't say anything about Kal-El. I thought that was cool.
Yep.
I thought them talking over baby Kal-El, I thought that was interesting because Jor-El, he's just talking about the positives. He's we're going to send them to Earth. You're going to be invincible. You're going to be strong, faster. And the whole time anytime he says something good, his mom says something bad.
Yeah, the wife is he's going to be weird.
He's going to be alone.
Yeah.
He'll be an outsider. he won't have us. And then his dad's like, he will. And then they kind of get on the same page at the end, and it kind of gets like a little poetic-y, and I like that. And it kind of gets religious. It got super religious whenever he's like, you will see through my eyes, the Father will become the Son, and the Son will become the Father. And I was like, whoa. I thought that was
Right.
cool.
I don't remember that line, but yes.
The planet blowing up, it blowing up doesn't look good.
No.
It doesn't look that good. I don't like how Krypton's made out of crystals. I get it. That's a huge part of the movie too. That's a huge part of Krypton lore for Superman 1, 2, and Returns, is that the crystals are a really integral part. I just don't, for some reason, super advanced civilization using rocks, I just don't fuck with it at all. I think it's like
I don't like it.
super advanced. I don't find it interesting at all.
Yep.
It seems like caveman stuff. Now, one thing that Jor-El says that doesn't make any sense is he tells Superman that he can't. How does he say it? He said, you can't interfere with human history at all. And I was just like, well, that's the whole point of Superman. And I thought,
what's he doing then?
I was like, oh, maybe that'll be interesting. He'll like go against that. But then later they talk about it. They're like, no, you can help him out. I was like, well, what is interfering? What defines interfering if you can like help them out and be there for him?
Yeah. If he can stop continental destruction, what more could he do to interfere,
Right. Or just anything. If he just hangs out with them sometimes, like that's interfering, I think.
Right.
I thought Marlon Brando had mad aura, though. I thought he looked so cool, and I liked him a lot. Superman crash landing, even though this was him being a baby is like the shortest part of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was done well, even though this is one of the most dated things about the movie is the acting for some of the side characters, like Ma and Pa Kent. So, like, they find a fucking naked baby in the middle of a cornfield. They're not even very shocked.
No, they're gassed. They find the naked baby in the field and they crack a smile. It's insane.
They are happy, and I get it. I get like the lore of Superman is that Pa and Ma have tried to have kids their whole lives and they just can't. So this is like Superman is a blessing to them. And I love that aspect of the story. I think that's one of the best things about Superman is that he went to his parents. I think Superman's parents defined Superman. And I thought him picking up the truck, that's such an easy, quick way to show that we have a superpowered baby, and I thought that was cool. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, it did its purpose. It was it's kind of cheesy, a little corny.
You thought that was cheesy?
I kind of, yeah. I really did.
Maybe this whole movie is campy.
I don't want to be a hater, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's like the pacing of it's very strange in the beginning.
Well,
across all of it, across Krypton, across it blowing up, and kind of the amount of time that it spends on each part and each aspect, it just felt strange to me. And then, especially with him, like you said, he finally comes to Earth, and Mom and Pa find him. They're like, "Yippee!" And then he just picks up the car. It's like. There's just a lot of strange. The vibe of it felt weird to me.
It fell off the jack, so he tried to help him.
Yes,
by picking it up. I thought that was cool. I thought that's awesome. I love that because it's like, but the way they react to it it doesn't make any sense. Because Paul Ken is like almost like frustrated he did it, not like oh my god, miracle baby.
Which I know it goes against the point of the movie. If this was ever me in this situation where I find a child in a field, number one, I'd freak out, especially if he was picking up cars and shit.
Yeah.
Which
Ma can't. She even kind of alluded that she like just gets it right off the bat
Right.
because Paul's like, we got to find his people, and Ma's like, he doesn't have any, you know. She
Right.
doesn't, not from around here anyway. And she says it like not from Kansas. She means not from the solar system.
Right.
And I don't know. I like that. And you didn't like him as a teenager?
I thought it was pretty cool. I
I
thought it
thought
was okay.
I thought it was so captivating. I understood why there's like multiple seasons of Smallville just from
That
the
was,
little bit we got.
yeah.
I was like, "Oh wow, that is like just him getting picked on and then
Right.
running by the train even though it looks terrible.
Oh,
It doesn't
it looked bad.
it
But
it looks bad. It doesn't feel bad.
no.
I get what they're going for so 100%, and I feel it. It's like, yeah, I'm going to fucking run home and beat the bully. He thinks he wasted my day. I loved him kicking the football out
Yeah.
of frustration. That was Lana Lang he was talking to, which, you know, for her to be in the movie for 30 seconds, that's a comic book reference. And I didn't even think they would do that. Because sometimes comic book movies don't do that. They'll be like, why
Right.
can't this character be from the why'd y'all make up a character whenever this character fits
Could
that?
be.
But
Yeah.
Clark Kent's childhood crush, Lana Lang, is in this movie for a split
Right.
second. And they didn't have to do that, and I liked it. I'm glad they did.
The high school
Um,
scene, like the school scenes, was the first moment of enjoyment I got out of this movie. Like, true, like, oh, this is pretty cool. That was the first time. That was whenever it picked up a little bit. I mean, Ma and
Yeah.
Pa and everything, but that's all in the same sequence.
It is. It is. Now, Paul Kent dying. How do you feel about that?
Fine. It was funny how it was done. He
It's
just
kinda-
he truly just croaked over, but it was pretty emotional.
It's kind of done like Superman caused it because he's like, let's race,
Right.
you know. But
That
I
was
think
also corny. Where, what did he say
No,
before he
man.
croaked? Before because he had, they implied he had a heart attack, and he went like he held his arm out, and my
Yeah,
first
like
thought was
his
my
arm.
brother's having a cramp, and that's I mean, but that went away immediately, and then he went what like, oh, this ain't good, or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe he said like not now, or
Right.
I don't know. I can't remember. I thought that was so Superman. He's one of the superheroes. What I think is special about him is that his parents don't have to die for him to be Superman. Superman is just who he is. And his parents kind of. It'd be very bizarre if Batman became Batman and his parents didn't die. It would be.
Right.
We know Spider-Man would not become Spider-Man if Uncle Ben didn't die. He would be a dickhead. It seems like Superman doesn't need any motivation to be Superman, other than he just thinks it seems like it's the right thing to do. I wish, but they get around it in this movie in one of the best ways ever, and they only barely touch on it, and it has been elaborated on further in comics and stuff since. But Paul Kent dies of a heart attack, something
Right.
that Superman can't prevent.
Yeah.
And he says that. He says, I have all this power and I couldn't save him. Now, I wish this movie could be set up different and it could be longer and we could have saw Clark try to save somebody or save a bunch of people before this and kind of get the notion that he saves people before this happened. I think it would have meant more if he like
That would be cool.
he helped somebody from another outside, like a runaway train or maybe a tractor combine fell on somebody or
Yeah.
just something, right? And he helped them with his power. But
Well, I
what
think
what a great lesson it is to Superman. Like you, even though you are Superman, you can't help everybody. There's
Yeah.
just some things that are just completely out of your control, and you know humans are immortal, and you can't interfere with that.
right.
And I thought that was amazing.
It is cool in that way, I suppose. There could have been, I think, more emotional pull from it, like you said, if he could have got a little bit more experience under his belt. I thought the sequence was kind of silly where it was like Paul died and then he went and stood in the field and then he went and told Ma like I got to go and then that was it out of them.
Didn't him standing in the field look so good
It was
though?
very good. That was good. Yes. It looked good.
It
But
looks
again,
a lot
the
of scenes
sequence
in this
kind of
movie.
silly.
A lot of scenes in this movie, I was like, wow, I can't believe this is like a Superman movie. It
Even
just looks
the
really good.
there was a wide angle shot I remember seeing of the farm, I think as Paul was dying, and
Yeah.
it was kind of a wide of the panic from an aerial view.
Hmm.
And I saw that shot and my first thought was, "Oh wow, that's a pretty cool shot." That's cuz it's pretty non-conventional. Like it's not a great way to display like emotion by doing that from afar. But I did think that was a cool shot. There are some shots in this movie that I think are nice.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
so
think
too.
the whole movie sucks in any way,
No, no.
but there are just some funny things like that that I think are a little bit, like you said, maybe campy.
Paul Kent dying brings us to the next Man of Steel comparison because
Hmm.
they do the same thing in Man of Steel where Paul Kent dies, and they do it completely wrong. They do it completely backwards. I don't know if you're familiar, Bobby. I don't know the last time you see Man of Steel,
Have not
but
seen it before.
oh, you've never seen it?
No, for real, the only Superman movie I've ever seen
Oh
is
wow.
2006 Superman. That's what I'm saying.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so in Man of Steel, they're in Kansas, right?
Hmm.
And a tornado is coming while they're on the highway, and
Right.
everybody gets out of their car to go to the overpass or the
Hmm.
underpass or whatever underneath the bridge, where you're supposed to go to
Right.
when
Yep.
tornadoes hit, right? And Paul Kent gets his leg stuck, and there had been like similar talks. There's a lot more time spent on in this movie. Like this is the second scene. Paul Kent dies in his second scene, which I think is really unfortunate because I think
Yeah.
for it to be truly emotional, there just needed to be more of him, but I get it. You can't have time for everything. So, in the Man of Steel Superman universe, Paul Kent's like, you don't ever fucking use your powers, They'll come fucking get you.
Right.
So, Paul Kent gets stuck, gets his leg pinned, and the tornado's coming. And Superman goes to save him, and he just holds his hand out in front of him and just shakes his head like, no, don't reveal yourself now, right?
Hmm.
But that is an instance where Superman could easily save somebody in the way he can save people and not even be like that revealed. Like it wouldn't even be like that big of a deal. Like he could have just ran over there and hit bumped the car and then walked him away, and then whenever the tornado starts picking him up, just use your fucking Superman flying powers and just stay on the ground and just be like, we just got fucking lucky, I guess. I guess the tornado didn't pick us up because we got fucking out of the vortex. It's the same scene done completely backwards with the wrong message attached to it. Saying like, you don't have to save anybody, Superman. And I
Right.
don't fuck with that at all. Apparently Zack Snyder, he has like a weird worldview where you should only ever act in like your self-interest. So like that's his whole DC universe is set up like that. So like it wasn't in Superman's best interest to save his dad because it could have possibly revealed himself. I think that is so anti-Superman that it's
Yeah, I think
crazy.
that goes against everything that Superman stands for.
Yeah. I think like Superman should save his dad if it's at the threat of his own life.
Yeah.
Superman should save a dog if it's at the threat of his own life. In a way, Like I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything wrong with that. He's Superman.
What's the
That's what
Superman creed to protect
I
life? Is it
stand.
life, liberty in the American way, or am I over
No, you're close. It's truth,
patriotizing that?
justice,
That's
and the
right.
American way. I stand for
Yep.
truth, justice, and the American way. And I don't know. There's really no reason for Superman not to help people. That's kind of what he.
That's
If
his
he would,
thing.
if he just wouldn't help his dad, I really don't believe he'd help anybody. Which in the Man of Steel in the Justice League, that Zack Snyder, he doesn't really ever help anybody. So
Right.
I guess that's the point.
That is, I will say that because that brings to it as a casual Superman enjoyer. I do like this version of Superman that is out here helping people rather than some of the versions of Superman that I'm not very well versed on, but he's too posh and he's too good to help anybody because he's all powerful. I
Yeah,
don't like that portrayal of Superman at all. This was a cool version of Superman.
I love that they almost had like a montage of just like him just helping a bunch of people,
Helping. Yeah.
saving a cat, just
Yep.
being friendly, being really sociable.
Yep.
In Superman Returns, I just saw they show like Clark walks into the Daily Planet and like every TV is on with a different scene of Superman saving people from the previous day, all across the world too, not just Metropolis, like in Germany, Japan, Africa, like everywhere. And it's like, yeah, that's what Superman would do. He would just fucking help as much as he possibly can. Now,
Yeah.
leaving Ma Kent got me. I almost cried a little bit. It almost got me. I thought it was shot so beautifully, and I thought the acting dipped out of camp enough that I got a little bit emotional. I was like, wow. Because they
I didn't
go
think
for
it was a bad scene.
they do a big hug, and then
Mhm.
they separate, and then they do the pull each other back and hug again. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, fuck. I was like, I can't believe you're leaving mom after dad just
What's
died.
Yeah, it's sad she gets left alone because like she's got nothing now, you know.
Yeah,
And
Superman's
it is
like,
a,
I talked to the Burgesses or whoever. They said they don't mind helping out from now on. It's like,
right.
well, I bet they think highly of you
Yeah,
leaving your mom right now, you know?
yeah.
I bet everybody in Smallville's like, damn, y'all ever remember Clark Kent? What a piece of shit.
What a huge
Leaving
sack
his
of
mom.
shit. Yep.
He should have
Went
took
to
her
go
to
live in the city.
yeah, big city boy Clark. Um, so him finding the crystal, this is another. I had a huge problem with this. I know that kryptonite's green. Kryptonite is green in this movie. Why make the good crystal green too?
I don't. Is there any lore on the good crystal here? I don't know shit about it, except it's the good crystal.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but did they explain anything on how he knew to go north and throw it in water or anything?
I'm not gonna lie. I think I missed some of the dialogue in this movie from
I,
the zone out, but I didn't hear anything about it. The
okay.
whole sequence of him, I didn't know shit about the green crystal till he's tossing it in water. It was so funny. He found it and was like, "I'm heading north."
I'm heading north.
It's like sweet, I guess.
In the second movie, he explains that the crystal guided him.
Mm,
Okay. So it like called to him, right?
right.
But that's all we get. That's all we get, that the crystal fucking I thought, I don't this is usually how the Fortress of Solitude is made. He throws fucking a crystal in. I didn't know it was the North Pole. I've always thought Superman lived at the South Pole. I guess I was wrong. I don't know. Or maybe it's different. But
Yeah.
he throws in the water, makes the big Fortress of Solitude, which is cool.
Mhm.
And he gets to talk with, his AI of his dad. I thought it was weird that they were like 1,000 years have passed by your time. And I was just like, I had to be like interstellar confused. I was like
I was interstellar
idiot.
doing math. I was like, too much math. Don't understand it. That's I got it for once. I was like, yeah, that shit
I was
don't
like,
make
this
any
is
sense.
fucking stupid. What do you mean? He was a baby when he came here. Is he 1,003 years old? Like
How fast was he going?
He go through a
That fucking
wormhole or
crystal
something?
ship was going slow. I saw it.
Yeah. What does that mean? Like whenever Krypton blew up, was it the year 1078 in the Middle Ages? And it took him like what? What is? Because in the next movie they say it blew up in 1941. So I don't know. It doesn't make
Right.
sense to me. So Then they get into another weird
I
part where
think they even said
Superman.
that in this morning. They're in this movie. I'm so sorry. I think they said it in this movie that it blew up in 41.
Oh, they do.
Clark
They
Kent
do.
said
That's
that
how.
himself. Yeah. Sir Superman said that himself to Lois Lane.
Yeah, and Luther deducts it. We're gonna talk about Luther a lot
I'm gonna
because
tear his ass apart.
yes. Say so the next part with so like he talks to Jor-El, and Jor-El is like they do the training sequence off screen. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, why? He's like telling him to go all to these other galaxies and stuff, which is also now that you're telling me time is working differently in space. Like, shouldn't he come back in another fucking century or something? But Superman is gone for 12 years, it says. So he's 18 when he makes the Fortress of Solitude. He trains to be Superman for 12 years and comes back. Ma Kent has been alone on the farm by herself for 12 years,
12
no
years.
contact with her son. I thought that was insane. And then
Does
they
it
do
say 12 years in the movie? Did I miss that?
yes, I'm
Am I an
I'm
idiot?
almost no, I
Okay.
mean they just glanced over it, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not like it was a wild thing. They wanted him to be 30 so bad for some reason. And I think they say that he's 30 a couple times in the movie. I don't know why.
Right.
But he gets back. I actually love the Superman sneak peek. He flies at the camera, and you just
Yes.
kind of get a glimpse of the suit. I thought that was good.
Garbage effects, but yeah, good. Not absolute. I mean, it doesn't look like he's hanging on a cable or anything, but and I get what they were going
Right.
for.
Right.
I felt like that was just as shitty as the train scene effects were, but yeah.
That's so funny. This is where I think Act 1 ends. Okay? I Googled it. This
Yeah.
is just something I do on the movie podcast now. You know, I try to tell people where the acts break because I
Right.
find it interesting. I Googled it. It said that Act 1 was Krypton, Act 2 was Smallville, Act 3 is Metropolis. No,
What does that even
that's
mean?
the stupidest thing I've ever seen. That's like multiple things told me that. It is not true, okay? Act 1 ends whenever he flies at the camera. It makes complete sense.
Yep.
You get pre-Superman, and then Act 2 is Superman, okay?
Yep.
I thought Metropolis was cool. It showed the Daily Planet. I thought
Metropolis
that was
was sick. Yes.
cool.
Awesome.
I really love how Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen are characterized in this movie.
Yep.
I don't know if this movie started it, but it is now a big thing that Lois Lane is dyslexic, or she has like in this movie she can't spell. She doesn't know how to spell.
Right.
And it's like, wow, this great writer can't spell. Sometimes she's dyslexic. Sometimes she has like, some other form of, not
Learning challenge.
learning challenge where,
Yeah.
you think it would hinder her reporting abilities, but, she gets through it through sheer tough will and grit. I love
Right.
Lois Lane. I think she's probably one of the most underrated female characters from comics because people probably are always like, oh, Wonder Woman, Catwoman, Gwen Stacy, blah, blah, blah. Lois Lane's up there.
Lois Lane's pretty cool.
She's pretty goated.
Pretty cool from this movie.
And I liked her in this movie a lot, and I thought she was cute.
She
I
got
thought-
pouring around in this movie.
You-
She got
We're
there's a
gonna-
little steam.
This is one of the horniest movies I've ever watched,
It's
and
crazy.
I couldn't believe it. I
No,
could not
the whole
believe it.
It's insane. The whole scene of them on the rooftop. I thought they were
Yes.
going to get into some passion.
Yes, I wrote a lot about that. So this just cracked me. Oh, I love seeing Clark Kent. So
Yep.
we got to see young Clark, which is a farm boy,
Yep.
not the disguise. Then we get to see Superman for a split second. Then we get introduced to Clark Kent, the reporter. And
Cool character.
I love it. And I don't know why anybody ever doesn't understand. I don't understand why people don't get how good of a disguise Superman has. Superman doesn't need a mask. You would never in your entire life be able to tell that Clark Kent is Superman. He slouches. His hair looks awful. He has huge glasses. And he acts like a buffoon. An
Yeah.
absolute buffoon.
I agree with you, and it's really well done. It is funny. I would like to think that if I knew Superman, like if you took off your glasses and stood up straight, I'd like to think that I would know it would be you. But his whole demeanor does shift. Like it is noticeable, and that's really evident in the Lois Lane scene whenever he's at her apartment and he's about to like confess that he is
Yes.
Superman.
Yes.
He
I
takes
thought
his
that was
glasses off,
amazing.
stands up straight. It's crazy. You could That's very good acting.
It
because
looks
he
like
doesn't
two
do a
different
whole
people.
lot. Yes, but he completely shifts his demeanor, and it's visible. You can see it. It's really cool. I liked that part. But yes,
Well,
I completely agree.
People also, they just don't understand like how, because like you are right. You would think like, because I wear glasses and I do slouch. You would think if I stood up straight and I took my glasses off that you would be like, oh, who is who is
Right.
that? But you're not thinking about in the world of like a god. Like if you saw on TV somebody that looked like me flying around,
Right.
you would never be like, that's my cousin.
And you were simultaneously like a huge awkward
I'm just
pussy.
working at my job as an
Yeah.
accountant, and I'm
Right.
just like, I go to work every day. You would never just be like, I bet Trinity's Superman.
Yeah.
You just would never think that.
Right.
At this point, I loved, I didn't even write this down. I just remembered it. I love that he's like, send half my paycheck to this bank account. And Lois Lane's like, his bookie, blah, blah, blah. Don't tell me it's his white-haired mother. And he was like, well, she's actually silver-haired.
Silver-haired, yeah.
And she was like, oh, you're a sweet guy. But
Yeah.
in my mind, I was like, 12 years has passed. How the fuck is Ma Kent still alive?
He's paying for her funeral bill. He's
Yeah.
shipping that shit home. Right in that scene, this is little. I didn't write anything down for this movie, but this was just funny. I hate that they mentioned how fast of a typer Clark Kent is, and then I didn't see him type once.
That's how fast he is.
I guess that's true. But
I
I really
guess,
wanted to
like-
see it. I was waiting on a typing scene. I was like, damn, I'm going to see him type in one of these scenes. Didn't see it once.
They should have been like, Kent, your, I don't know what they say. Your article was due on my desk 10 minutes ago. And he was like, oh, I'm finishing up right now. And it's like a blank page. And he like,
Yeah.
That would have been sick.
Would be cool.
That would have been cool. This going into one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie, and potentially one of my favorite superhero scenes of all time, mugging Superman.
Yeah.
It is a great characterization of Clark Kent and Lois Lane, because
Yep.
Clark, even though he is a wussy, he will not let this person point this gun at Lois Lane.
No.
At all. Lois Lane will not back down in the face of danger and tries to kick the gun. And I loved how it looked like Superman quickly moving, catching the bullet, knocking the gun out of his hand, and falling down. Like, I thought that was so... It
That
just
was
looked,
cool.
It just looked so good to me.
It didn't even register to me that he caught the bullet himself. Like, I knew that he blocked the bullet because he was holding it, but I thought maybe it hit him in the arm or something, and then...
Yeah.
But no, yeah, he did catch it, didn't he?
Yes, he like intentionally like reached over because it probably would have hit Lois or went
Right.
out into the roadway. And I love that he's like, I passed out. And Lois is like, God, this guy sucks. You know?
Yep.
Like, I can't believe this guy would pass out while I'm getting mugged with them.
Yeah. Again, would just never suspect him to be Superman.
Yeah, you would just never be like, that idiot that fainted the other day
Yep.
is Superman, you know? But, you know, throughout this movie, Lois Lane starts picking up on some clues. There's some times where she's, like, thinking of stuff. But, you know, he does a really good job of, like you were saying, the scene where he leaves as Superman and immediately comes back as Clark Kent. Like I would not, you would, nobody would ever put two and two
No.
together if you're
Yeah.
moving that fast. Um, we're getting into the police trailing scene, which was, I thought it was directed interestingly at first. Like I like the angle of the two detectives following Otis.
Yeah.
I hate the character Otis.
I
Don't
hate
have
Otis.
don't have anything for him.
I didn't
Um,
enjoy any scene really with Luther in it.
Me neither, unfortunately.
I
I was
didn't like any of it.
This is not the Lex Luthor that I know at all. This guy
Right.
reminds me of the Sicilian from The Princess Bride. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
We'll put it on the list. It's a classic. It's one of the best movies ever.
Right.
But there's a character in it, and I think it's played by Gilbert Godfrey. And Gilbert Godfrey is just like in the movie. He's, oh my God, I'm an idiot. That's my bad. Edit that out. Just kidding. Who is that guy? Oh, his name's Wallace Shawn. My apologies, Mr. Shawn. I guess I'm not familiar with your work, but and he plays in all kinds of stuff. It looks like a lot of voice acting, but in this movie, he's the brains of the operation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but he's like, he just always goes like, inconceivable. How is he following us? Like, Lex Luthor to me is a powerful man. Not just a clever man. He's a powerful man. Like,
Right.
I like the portraying like Lex. Superman is Superman, but Lex is a superman. Like, Lex is maybe one of the best specimens of just a human. I love
Right.
whenever he's portrayed in comics as like top 3 smartest people alive, and I love that I love whenever he's like physically capable. Like he's not a pushover. He's like
Yeah.
Batman sometimes. And this is not that kind of Lex Luthor. This guy is all brains, no brawn, not even like the brains that I know Luthor for, because Luthor to me is also kind of like Tony Stark, and he'll make a robot to fight Superman. He's not trying to make like a really weird plan. I just
Right.
thought Luthor was such this is kind of what solidified it to me as a kids movie, is how Luthor is, his plan, his evil plan, the fact that he has an evil plan. He's like not even on the level of like a Bond villain from this
No.
era of movies.
It's it's
and I didn't
really
like it.
strange. It feels kiddie. It's the kiddie feeling part of this movie. The whole band of them. And even then you were talking about the detective scene, like of them following them.
Mm-hmm.
That them introducing him killing the cop, them picking the hat up, and that's how he's introduced as an evil guy. It just
Yeah.
feels childlike.
Hitting him
just
with
feels
the
strange.
Minecraft piston door, dude.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. Though. I
It's
was
so
like,
funny.
that's how I would make a door in Minecraft.
Yep.
To my secret base.
You got him with the sticky piston.
He did get him with the sticky piston, and I thought that was a fairly gruesome death for a kids movie, though. Just get pushed in front of a train slowly.
Yeah, it sucks.
Even though it doesn't show anything, but. And I thought Luthor was cool enough. But why is his bitch bad?
She's hot. In this
Ask
movie.
yourself that.
It's crazy.
Why has he got a bad bitch on staff?
Who is she? Can you give me some expose on her? Because I don't know anything about her as a character aside from this movie.
Her name is Eve
Uh-huh.
Tessmacher.
Yeah, Miss Tessmacher. That
Miss
sounds right.
Tessmacher. I have never heard of that character ever in my entire life.
Is she not in anything else?
I don't think so.
Interesting. Okay.
Because
Was
like,
she in 2?
no. Well,
Okay.
no, I'm wrong. She was.
Okay.
She was. Eve Teshmonster. Let me see here. Um, yeah, it looks like they've made her a character in other Superman related stuff.
Interesting.
But it says she was created by Richard Donner,
Uh huh.
so she was made for this movie.
Hmm.
Ooh, spoilers! Spoilers. Superman 2025. She's in that movie. That's cool.
Damn.
I like that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
bring that in. And she's Lex Luthor's girlfriend, who previously dated Jimmy Olsen. Oh, I don't even want to read anymore. That sounds interesting. Wow. Okay, that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Bring a character made for a movie back to the movie. That's what it's all about. But I thought that was funny. That's like, why, Luther's got this dumb dude, and then he's just got a bad bitch, and it's like they dress her very
Crazy
scandalously
style.
the whole movie.
Crazy style. Titties out.
Titties out.
Scene 1.
Scene 1. Jumps in the pool. She's
Yep.
basically naked, and I looked away because I'm wholesome. I
Yep.
said, "Oh, ma'am, this is a kids movie. My son's watching. I gotta look away." I couldn't believe it almost. Kissing Superman while he's unconscious.
Drugged. Yeah.
Uh, so, we get into the first bit of Superman with the helicopter crash. I thought the helicopter crash looked good. I
Yep,
love how
pretty cool.
Lois is acting. I like the acting in this scene because she's like genuinely panicking, and it's
Right.
it's not very elegant. Like, I feel like people freak out in movies sometimes where they're like, "Oh, help me."
Right.
She's literally like, "Ah, I'm in a helicopter that's blowing up, please." It took 1 hour and 9 minutes for Superman to appear in this movie.
That's insane.
That is insane.
Yeah, it felt like
I
it.
couldn't believe it.
Did you write that down? Did you note
I
that
wrote
yourself?
I wrote that down.
Holy
because
shit.
I checked because he appeared at minute 48 or whatever, 46
Right.
when he flew at the screen. What if I don't know anything? I don't know that's Superman. Who is that? What is that?
Right.
What's he do? I don't know. I'm watching the movie for the first time. So
Yep.
it took 1 hour and 9 minutes, which is over half the movie, which I will say that Superman appearing is the midpoint of this movie. The official midpoint of Act 2 is Superman finally showing up. And I love how easily he saved Lois and how easily he saved the helicopter.
Yeah, he's the man.
He's the man.
Immediately establishes that he's the man.
I thought that was great. I thought that was
Sick.
fantastic.
Yep.
I love how they show how his powers work, because they actually show, because a lot of people's like, hey, he can fly and he's really strong. They kind of allude in the comics, not kind of, just they allude in the comics that he has a form of tactile telekinesis, which is he has mad aura. He has a super aura. So the reason he can like grab a helicopter by the leg and pick the whole thing up is like he extends his aura to the helicopter and lifts
Interesting.
it that way. That's why
Okay.
him and Lois can fly
That's-
side by
yeah.
side.
That's what I
whenever
was going to say. Them holding
Yep.
literal fingertips. I was like, damn, Lois, I guess, is just the strongest person, the second strongest person in the world.
Right. So, yeah, I'm like, that's a great way of showing how his powers work.
Makes sense.
He is strong. Like, they talk about how the sun makes his molecules denser and his muscle fibers stronger, whatever. But he just also has telekinesis. But in the second movie, they just use they go crazy at one point in the second movie where they're just like 50 superpowers fighting Zod and the gang. I can't wait to tell you about it because it's crazy. We got
No crazy powers in this movie. I did like that.
no heat vision.
No heat vision.
No heat
Sweet.
vision. I looked it up because I was like, there's no way there's no heat vision. And they said that they just wanted to focus like on issue 1 Superman powers. Like, he's really
Right.
strong and he can fly, and even though in issue 1 he can only jump, blah 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 blah. But just what he's known for. He's super strong and he can fly and he's indestructible. I was like, okay, that's fine. I guess it was also probably apparently because they have heat vision in the second movie, they probably were just a couple years too early to do heat vision too.
Yeah, thank God they didn't try that for the effect.
He saves the cat, like we talked about, which is in Screenwriting 101. There's a screenwriting book called Save the Cat. If you want to establish a character's a good guy, have them save a cat. If you want to establish they're a bad guy, have them kick a puppy. Which Luthor I don't know if he does, but he'll say something like that sometimes. I like the scene of him saving the airplane. I thought that was a good scene.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Thought it looked good. I love how they're acting because they're more shocked by that than Paul and Ma Kent were.
Yeah. I love the help montage.
Yes, I love the help montage. I thought that was great. Next thing I wrote down, Lex Luthor jokes that Superman has to be an alien because nobody could come up with a scam this good from this planet unless it was him, which is just funny because it's like he is an alien, but he said it as like a joke, like out of his own hubris. And I kind of like the idea of like, a dude's flying? No way. No, that's not possible. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Perry White, the chief the chief of the Daily Planet. I like his character a lot. I thought he was fun.
I like him a lot too. I think he's portrayed well in this.
I liked whenever he was going around asking people questions about Superman, and he asked Clark, he was like, what's his favorite baseball team? Clark almost answers. I don't know if they meant like I don't know if I'm like reading too much into it, but like he just caught off guard and he's like he's about to like say something like what's his favorite, but Perry White just goes to the next person because he doesn't think anybody knows this answer.
Yeah,
but I like the idea of like Superman being so almost ditzy that he was about to say like the Kansas Combiners, like the Kansas Hay Bellers, my favorite baseball team. So then we get to the date with Lois, which is the horniest scene I've seen in a movie in a long time.
It's about softcore.
It's about softcore. She gets a note saying like, I'm going to meet you. I like that Superman's late. So cool.
It's cool, yep.
So cool. He showed up 15 minutes late. Lois Lane is not dressed professionally. And I love how they talk to each other. I thought they had super, super big chemistry, great chemistry. Yep. I love how cool Superman is because this is like the first time you get to see Superman talk a lot. And it's after you get to spend a lot of time with Clark, and Clark is not cool. But Superman, like, he's just very charming. Christopher Reeves did a great job. I understand why he is still Superman to so many people. Like, he is still the iconic Superman. And I feel like even like whenever I kind of imagine Superman, I kind of imagine this version of him, like a lot about him, like the way he interacts with people is kind of similar. One of my favorite lines in the movie is Lois Lane asks if he has a girlfriend, and he said, if I did, Miss Lane, you'd be the first to know about it, which is so, he's saying, it's just sick. It's a great line. It comes off so smooth. He's saying, like, you would be my girlfriend. You would know about it. She's asking him questions, and she says, how big are you? And
it's crazy for a 1978 movie.
1978, just like, how big are you? And she's like, I mean, how tall are you? And then, what color's my underwear? I could not believe it. Superman, but this is where it differs a little bit. My Superman would not X-ray vision. He only did that because he was asked to. He would never do that ever, just nonchalantly. He only did that because he was asked. Yeah. But I was like, that's when I even wrote down. I was like, at this point, I was like, this movie is so horny, it's insane.
The whole scene there was. It was kind of wild. Like I said, it was just steamy.
It was very steamy.
It was unexpected.
I liked it.
I did too. I thought it was pretty cool.
I was like, I kind of want that in every, like, he needs to be like this with every Superman, because like that's one thing that's kind of special about Lois Lane as Superman is like there's Spider-Man has like 8 girlfriends, Batman has like 8 girlfriends. Even though Superman does have like a childhood crush, he always ends up with Lois Lane. Like
Right.
they're like the definition of star-crossed lovers. They're soulmates, and I like that. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
It's just another thing that sets him apart from other superheroes. Like he doesn't need trauma. He doesn't need to have relationship problems other than relationship problems. He doesn't need to
Yeah.
have like 8 girlfriends. He needs to have a problem with his girlfriend, who's like a really, really strong and independent woman that Lois Lane is. I thought the flying with Lois, I thought it looked okay. I thought it looked good.
It was fine.
I
That
had
was a pretty
fun.
long scene, but yeah, it was cool.
It was very long, but it was it was. I wrote down, bro has so much aura.
Yeah.
He was doing cool stuff.
It's cool. It's cool in that part of the movie, like you said, just seeing how cool Superman is as a character, because he, like you said, he didn't talk very much up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
Is awesome. It's just such. I wanted to say, just to shit on it some. It's such. Again, you go through the scenes with like Lex Luthor, and it's almost childish. You're like, oh, this is a kids movie, and then immediately, a scene later, he's about to fuck Lois Lane in the movie,
Yeah.
and you're like, yo, this ain't a kids movie.
Yeah.
It's just it was a crazy vibe.
What did you think about this poetry scene?
I thought it was cool. I thought that she was going to get to the point of that was where he would be named Superman, but it didn't. I thought it was cool though, because it just developed on how much Superman actually means to Lois Lane. It was such a good and creative way of like showing what was going on in her mind.
It's very like Peter Pan.
Yes, without like spelling it out. I thought that was just nice. It's like, yeah, I'll just throw a sweet little poem in the movie.
I like
it
that
never
it
shows
was
her
actually
writing
a
it.
poem.
It
Yeah.
never shows her actually narrating it. It's shown at a very sweet part of the movie. I did think that was cool.
Cool. I thought you wouldn't like that. I thought
it was fun.
Out of all the things you called corny and stuff, I thought for sure you wouldn't like it.
I mean, it fairly was, but I like the love stories. I want to note too. It is. I don't know if you think anything about this. There's some things that I shit on Superman about, like mentally. Like I think that he's a little bit silly as a superhero, because he scans Lois Lane's lungs for cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, granted, in hindsight, he didn't know how to. He could have scanned his damn pop's arteries to see which one was clogged, But I guess, granted, he didn't know how to do that if he didn't have his 12 years of Superman training first.
Yeah, this is post 12 years Superman
Right.
training.
Well, I don't want to get too far ahead because we're not even near the ending of the movie. But there's some things that Superman does that I'm like, if he can do X, then why didn't he do Y prior?
I get that. I get what
Yes.
you mean. I do get that. I'd like to hear your specifics when we come.
That's just you have to. Superman's the kind of character where you have to put some limits on him sometimes, or you could just never tell a good story with him.
This is how I feel about speedsters, like the Flash TV show and stuff. It's like, why is like he getting shot this episode? He was just going light speed last episode,
Yeah.
And it's like,
I'll go ahead. I don't want to limit. I'll go ahead and say it. Like towards the end, just briefly with the missiles, it's like if he couldn't stop 2 missiles at one time, why can he fly around the Earth fast enough to change its rotation?
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
He focused.
Just side note.
I liked how Lois came up with the name Superman. Just like very
Was
casual.
cool.
Just he flew away. She's like, man, what a Superman,
He's a Superman.
He hunked me. Yeah. Clark immediately come over. We talked about this. The slouch, straighten up, taking the glasses off. I was just like, whoa.
Sick.
I thought that was sick.
Very good acting.
Luther figuring out what kryptonite is just, it's stupid. It just it makes no sense.
Yeah.
He's just like, I mean, like, I get that he's supposed to be like super smart, but he's only. This is like how like dumb people think super smart people are, you know?
Right.
It's
Again,
like,
every
why?
scene is just like how a kid would write it almost.
Yeah, a little bit like a kid villain. Like, say the
Yeah.
planet must have blown up in 1941. I will find. Like, that makes sense. Like, let's look for meteorites that hit the planet around that time. That makes
Yep.
sense. Okay.
Yep.
However, deducing that kryptonite would be poisonous to Superman the way he did it, it's, I don't get it. I would never think
No.
that.
No. How is
I almost don't understand how kryptonite works anyway.
No.
Like, why would the planet be radioactive to him and only, I don't
I don't
get
know
it.
what sense it makes.
Yeah.
How
It's like if I took
is
a rock to the moon, would the rock fucking kill me? You know, I had to be-
yeah. Yep. How is Lex Luthor simultaneously a loser and also fucking doing like international crime at a high enough level to acquire meteors from where the hell did he get it from? It announced it like he got it
It's-
from some kind of
it's-
Kenyan warlord or
It's
something, right? Like
it's Ethiopia. It's like
yeah.
Abyssidonis or something like that. I don't really know, but
Yeah.
they but yeah, it's, I don't understand that
It's
either.
just
How
strange.
he buys the future West Coast in his mind, you know,
Yeah.
millions of acres of land. But he's in like a subway station, which I love how it looks. I love his base.
Is
I
cool,
think it's
yeah.
so designed interesting. I love the swimming pool and all that.
Yeah.
All that's great. But like, I don't, Lex Luthor is supposed to be in a skyscraper to me. Like, he's supposed to be really publicly rich. I just don't even like the idea of like Lex Luthor wanting to be a criminal. I don't know how
No.
to explain it.
Right.
Lex Luthor to me wants to be the greatest man alive, and because of Superman, he's a criminal. You
Right.
know, he's not. It's just so very Looney Tunes. Like, I'm gonna buy up all this land so I can have beachfront property, so I can make a lot of
Yeah.
money. And it's like, God dang, dude, you have so much money, you can buy all this land. Why don't how much more money do you need?
Right.
At this point, just invest in the S&P 500,
Yeah.
and you might get a better. It might be easier for you.
And again, too, I hate his Three Stooges ass relationship with Otis as well.
Yeah, I got dumb Otis, who's
Yeah.
useless, and then I got bad bitch Miss Techmac or whatever.
They're just such a wily, strange gang.
It's so
And
cartoonish.
I don't think it like even this is around the time I believe where he's on the bookshelf.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just a stupid, corny joke in there. It's just a throwaway almost.
Yeah.
Where he
He's-
says, like, I'm looking for a book with M. And then Otis goes, you got it, boss, N. And then he hangs off of the book. It's not funny. I didn't think it was really funny. I didn't
Well,
think it added anything.
it's for a kid.
Right.
There's a scene in the second movie where they're breaking out of prison, and Miss T what do we Techmacher?
I have no clue.
Tessmacher,
Already forgot.
Miss Tessmacher. She is coming to break them out with a hot air balloon, and Luthor climbs up the ladder, and then Otis climbs up the ladder, and he doesn't go anywhere. It just starts making the hot air balloon, like he's pulling it down because he's a fat guy.
Uh-huh.
Also, I bet I weigh 80 pounds more than Otis.
That was something about the Clark Kent scene or the Superman scene with Lois Lane. They made a big deal out of him being 225. They said 6'4", 225. I thought that was what's
How
up
much-
with that?
Well, back then people just used to be skinnier.
Is
I
that
guess.
not-
I don't know.
Yeah, 6'4", 225. I thought that was weird. I don't know. Maybe nobody
mean-
weighed 225 in
you mean
1978.
Braun?
I don't know. Yeah,
You-
it's like
You mean
Yeah.
the King?
any football player.
Can you believe Superman and Braun have the same stats, dude?
That is funny. Braun dunked on
Broad's
him though.
6'8" or
Braun's six
something.
seven. I was about to say
Yeah,
yeah, but he
Broad's
is
6'8".
225 though. I'm pretty sure.
See, I feel like that's maybe
225.
he is pretty heavy. Maybe he is
I
pretty
don't
heavy.
know.
I don't know. Back in the day, you were supposed to be like 150 pounds
I guess so. I don't
if
know.
you were a
Gangly
man.
and short. Yeah, the average height was 5'6" maybe.
I just think if you were just a man, they were like you have to be under 180, and all women weigh 90 to 100
Right.
pounds for whatever reason. Uh, I think Act 3 started after the bookshelf scene. Like after we get like the evil plan and the reveal of kryptonite, and we get into the desert. Whenever Miss Tessmacher gets into like the weird fake car wreck, and also just horny. She's just a beautiful woman passed out in the road, and then the general's like, "I'll give her mouth to mouth," and everybody has to stand with their backs to them. Just
Mm-hmm.
bizarre, very dated. I just felt weird about
Strange.
it. You know,
Yeah.
they're doing weird stuff with the missile silos, and I don't know. I maybe even started like really zoning out at that point because I didn't
I
like
zoned out of a
Luthor.
lot of it. I didn't
I
want to
didn't
watch scenes with him.
I didn't like Luthor.
It was
Um,
painful.
I thought the evil plan is fun enough though for this cartoon movie. Like
It was pretty cool.
I like the idea
Yep.
of like let's make California break off into the ocean, and then I'll own all the new West Coast. It's like, yeah,
Yep.
sure, whatever. Um, all the kryptonite shit whenever I like how he does like the dog whistle to get Superman's attention, and then
That was
Superman
pretty cool.
spins through the ground.
Yes.
I love that. And then I love that he puts the kryptonite on Superman. It just turns him into a rag doll, and they throw him in the pool. I thought all that was like fun enough. And then we get into one of my favorite moments of just Superman stories is I love when Superman is saved by a normal person. And
Yeah.
they save him because he's Superman, and it's the right thing to do. So I like that she saved him. Miss Tessmacher, she jumped in the pool and took the kryptonite off of him. And I
Gave him
wrote
a little
down, I said,
smooch.
why is she so hot? Like, she's
Yep.
just unbelievably hot in that scene. And I always see like Twitter threads. It's like, what's the hottest anybody's ever looked in a movie? And it's like, I was like, damn, Miss Tessmacher might be up there.
It for 1978, about for sure.
So I thought the dam breaking looked great. I didn't think the rocks falling to block the dam.
No,
I didn't think that looked that good.
that looked
I
pretty not good.
I just didn't even write down anything with the missiles. They shoot 2 missiles. Superman stops one. Another
Yeah.
one hits underground. I liked what it looked like, him underground trying to fix the Earth.
I
But
was gonna say that's an insane feat. That almost.
Yeah.
What the fuck did he do underground, man?
I have no
What
idea.
was he up to down there?
He
That
was
that
fixing
part
the
felt
fault
a little
lines,
bit
dude.
silly. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know
he's-
what he was doing, but
he's-
he patched the whole Earth.
He's
I
pushing
guess.
tectonic plates back together or something.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
You can a lot of the scenes I could tell they're using miniatures, but I thought it looked okay.
I thought it was cool just to see Superman in San Francisco. I thought that was just
Yeah.
kind of like a cool little thing because you definitely don't normally see that.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no idea where Metropolis is.
It's got to be
because-
New York, right? I mean, like I'm
Well-
pretty certain it's New York City because
in
even
in continuity of because they go to the Statue
Well,
of Liberty. You're right.
I was about to say, and I saw a sign too. Yeah, they did see the Statue of Liberty. I saw a sign too. I forgot about that said like Buffalo and Syracuse, like a street sign, I think, as
Yes.
in like implying it is in New York.
Sometimes they make it to where they're in DC continuity, Metropolis is just another city, and there still is New York. Same with
Gotcha.
Gotham. Gotham
Right.
is also just another city. They even make like some jokes, like whenever they cross over universes, like back in the day, like Marvel and DC, and they would do like scans of the planet, and they'd be like, "Oh, your Earth is bigger than the Marvel Earth, and it's because it has so many fictional locations. It has the Mascara, it has Central City, it has Emerald City, it has Metropolis, Gotham. You know, it has all this bullshit where it just has fake shit. Where like Marvel tries to pretend that all this is happening in our world. You know, like
I do think that's kind of cool about. I was thinking about that during this movie. I think that's kind of cool about Marvel because it gives it a different feeling. But I mean, you could do either way. For this movie's
they serve
purposes,
different points. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, just for the purpose of this movie, there's no reason. I mean, I know there's comics and everything, like it has to be Metropolis, but you could switch out Metropolis for New York City in this specific movie, and it would be perfectly okay.
You could, but it gets into something weird. It's like, what, you know, time is used really weird in this movie because like sometimes. At one point, I was like, is this one day? Is this the day of Superman? Is this 2 days? Is this a week? But then sometimes I'm like, maybe there's like been a month of Superman between these scenes. Cause like,
what's strange, he don't ever take a break. He don't ever sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
Cause like Lois and Clark, sometimes it's like, oh, they just met. Oh, they're going on dates. Are they dating?
Right.
But like if Metropolis is New York City, did Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen fucking drive to the Hoover Dam? Yeah. You know, like that would be insane.
That would be crazy. It's crazy just to have her out there one day. Yeah.
That would be insane to do that. To like, you know, and maybe that's the rental car she's but you know, they don't explain any of this.
Yeah.
And they don't have to. Who gives a fuck? But I thought her being trapped in the car, I thought it looked good. And once again, I love how she acts whenever she's in danger. She's like, Jesus, God, help me. Please, God, help me.
There was a good pressure with that scene, yes.
Yeah, and it was like, at one point, even though I don't know if I've ever seen this movie, but I knew about the ending. I just didn't know it was this movie. But I was like, damn, Lois Lane's going to fucking die in here.
Yeah.
And so I love the Superman finding her. I love how it looked whenever he pulled the car out and then he ripped the door off because it just looks so effortless. He's just like flinging the door. I love how they made it look. I thought it was good. And then finding Lois, just how sweet and tender he is. And then I love the Superman rage, just like the screaming and the shooting off into space.
Yeah.
Can you believe accidentally 3 weeks in a row we have covered a time travel movie? 3 weeks of time travel. This is the time travel podcast. I forgot all about that. And I was watching it. I was like, I cannot believe I've done it again. I've picked another movie with time travel in it.
Another time travel cast.
Not a very, I mean, well, it's a huge part of the movie, but it's not like, you know.
Oh, also, it's massive. Okay, so I want to say first, I like that Clark or Superman doesn't just pull the car out and Lois Lane is fine and they go yippee and the movie ends. I think that's cool, this decision.
I think this
I don't know if I like that he just fucking spins the world back to where it's like, yeah, the whole movie never happened. Actually, we are good.
Well, this is like a callback to him not being able to save his dad, right? Is this what this means? He's like, maybe I can, you know, with all this power, maybe I can save somebody I'm not supposed to save. Right. But the way they show it, you're right. What was there 2 Supermen stopping the missiles? Did he just do it better, like a video game? Did he did he reset the checkpoint?
I don't know. Did they even launch the missiles?
Did the 2 timelines merge and like he just saved Lois Lane?
Right.
Before, I don't know. It makes no sense.
I feel that this movie was up to some interstellar shit. There's too much math. I don't get it. I can't keep up with it.
I don't understand how the time
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't
How
understand it.
You know, who came up with this theorem that spinning the world backwards would reverse time?
I have that. That's one of my 5 notes I have written down. Is this the first spin the world backwards to erase or to reverse time like trope in a movie.
I have no. Is that a thing they do?
I've
Is
heard.
that?
I mean, like, I've always hell. Maybe I'm the philosopher. I don't know. I've always thought about that. Yeah.
If somebody told me this, like in all seriousness, they're like, if we could just somehow spin the world backwards, it would rewind time. I would just go, why? Why would that have anything to do with
Right.
anything? Wouldn't I was like the planet would just probably blow up or
Yeah.
something, Or it's like I saw like a video one time years ago, like if the earth stopped spinning, everything would just start flying 2,000 miles an hour in one direction
Yeah.
because of how gravity and physics works. But so I have no idea what it means like to turn the world's a big fucking clock you can manipulate. But whatever. This is a movie for kids. I bet a kid would be like, hell yeah.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
knew it.
I'm trying
I
to
knew
find out if this is the first, because I really do want to know that. Because I have thought about that before.
Yeah, you just Google spinning the world backwards.
So I did Google it, and it does say the example of it is from Superman 1978. But I'm gonna ask the robot if this is the first instance. But yeah, I thought it was silly, and even then, like for real, I'm being dead ass. Does he revert time back to the point where do the missiles even get launched?
I think
Yes
so
or no?
because she says like there
Yes.
were still earthquakes.
Right. So then that even begs, but why did he reverse it to that point? Like, why didn't he go before that or like stop them while they were programming them? Or like, I don't know. And even then, how
No
did he do
clue.
it? Yeah, he couldn't stop both of them at one time before. How did he do it now?
It's like a video game. He just did it
Why?
better, more
Yeah, why is there
efficiently.
less destruction around them? Why is Lois's car not beat up and exploded and power lines all over the road? And
I have
why?
no.
Why is that? How did?
But she
how
kind
did
of she has memory of that. She's
Right.
like, I
Yes.
was
Yes.
just
Yes.
at the gas station, just fucking blew up, and you were nowhere
Yeah.
to be found.
The car is not
Wow.
beat up at all. How did
Yeah,
what does it mean? The photographer said, "Thanks, Clark, for dropping me off in the middle of the desert." I don't know. Maybe I just missed something. Maybe
Well, I mean,
I'm
because
thinking too much about
whenever
it.
he saved Jimmy Olsen from the dam, and then he dropped him off, and he's like, "I'll be back for you later," and he said something like, "Oh, Lois will be coming around to pick me up in just a minute," right? But
Yes.
then that at the same time, that's when the earthquake starts happening, and then that's whenever what's it called? Burping in the mic. We burp in the mic on this
Mic burp.
podcast. I don't know. It just doesn't make much sense. It's stupid. I'm sorry. Fuck it. It's
Okay.
bad. If it came out
Apparently-
tomorrow, you'd hate it.
Yeah,
You know?
shit would suck. Superman 1978 was the earliest major instance of spinning the Earth backwards to reverse time as a visual concept. No earlier film, show, or comic before 78 had a clear... I'm ahead of my time almost. I'm the young philosopher. I didn't fucking watch this
The
movie. I've
young
always thought about that,
philosopher.
though. But it has been in shit since then. I know, yeah. Many
Yeah, I
cartoons,
looked it up
parodies, and
on-
other media
yeah,
has
I
borrowed the
looked-
concept, including
Yeah.
Family Guy, Robot Chicken, The Simpsons, and
Sure.
DC animated series. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So crazy though. It is kind of revolutionary that it was the first. I'll give it that. But yes,
well, it's
sucks.
just
Still,
it's just
ass.
such an idea, and
Yeah.
I don't care. It doesn't take
No,
anything.
I mean it don't make that big of a difference.
The movie just ran out of time, is what happened. But it just doesn't. It's like you reverse time to save Lois Lane. But what did you do? What else did you do? It seemed like you had to do a lot.
Right.
I would assume you had to do a lot. Is what I would think. I like that their kiss gets interrupted. No kissing.
Yep.
Just the evil lady gets to kiss Superman. Lois starts figuring out that Clark is Superman. But this
Had
is
he
so
not
stupid.
kissed Lois up until that? He hasn't
No.
shared a kiss. Ooh, I did not know
No.
that. Okay.
Nope, they did not
Interesting.
kiss on their date.
Wow.
And this
Damn,
is
he flew her around the world, and the Statue of Liberty didn't give her a smooch.
he's a gentleman. He
What a guy!
he saw his underwear.
He
He was
he
trying to get a
mewed
kiss.
on Miss T whenever she saved him. By the way, he about playboyed her,
I like
and I don't blame him.
Why'd
She
you
was
do
looking
that?
so good.
Um, you know, if you're Superman, does it hurt your feelings that Lois Lane is in love with Superman and not Clark Kent?
Maybe.
Who is Superman? Is he Clark Kent or is he Superman?
Right. I think he is. I mean, he is super. Clark Kent does feel like a character whenever Superman's playing him.
He's the mask, right?
Yes. Yeah, and it does feel like it, and that's cool, even whenever
Yeah.
he's on screen. But
A lot of people say that Clark Kent is
if
the real one, but like Superman's not fake, but that is Clark. That's
Right.
the true Clark Kent.
if my
You know,
bitch
so-
don't want me at my worst, she don't deserve me at my best. That's all I got to say for real.
If she don't want me at my Clark Kent, she don't deserve me at my Superman.
No.
I mean, it is funny being like upset because sometimes he is upset about it because he's like talking about Superman again. And it's like, well, it's both of them are you, but
Yes.
one version of you is tripping over his own feet, acting like an idiot, and the other one is Mr. Smooth Guy. You know,
Yep.
let alone being Superman, just actually is like very smooth.
Right. I want to say something real quick too. I do it's just about the character of Clark Kent. I do, because I had this thought, like that Clark Kent is a loser, but he's not like an extreme loser. Like it's like a happy medium of
He's
even
not how
calling him a
Peter
loser.
Parker really is.
No, even
Yeah.
calling him a loser isn't fair. Because like once again, a callback to Back to the Future. He's not like
Oh, I'm glad you
Marty's
said that.
dad.
I
He's
thought they
not.
are similar though.
They have a little bit of similarities, but he's not like that.
To the
It's
point where
not painful to see.
I almost wanted to see if like Crispin Glover was inspired by this movie.
That's so funny to think about.
Cause like a little bit, cause like even whenever he's like, Marty, do I really have to cuss? Like that's kind of like what this version of
Yeah.
Clark Kent would say. Cause like this
Right.
Clark Kent says like, oh golly, so I'm swell, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
I thought they were very similar in a little bit of ways. And the whole movie I was pissed. I was like, why is Lex Luthor not bald? Why isn't he bald?
The bald reveal's so fucking funny. I don't
I
know
thought
why they did that.
I thought the bald reveal was good though. I was like,
They
yes,
went, he's bald.
yes. I'm so glad. And then them in prison, it's campy, but I thought it was good. I thought it was
Yeah,
good.
again, once again with the yes, it is campy, but once again, when did he? At what point of the process
Yeah, what
does he
crimes
go
did
and
they
gather
commit?
them? Yeah, have they like when? I don't know.
You know?
I don't know. My version of the movie.
Ending is rushed, I think.
Yes, my version of the movie. Superman reverses time to the point where I don't think the missiles even get launched. I don't know because I do know what you mean. The characters do say like Lois and the photographer were like, I went
have
through all this
memory.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree that happens. I heard it too. I don't know.
I choose
just feel
to
like-
ignore it.
Yeah, I don't know what it means because there's physical evidence as they're saying that. There's physical evidence to prove that didn't happen in the very same scene.
Yeah. Or did did Superman rewind time and go, fuck that town? I'll save Lois instead of stopping
Maybe,
the
yeah.
day."
That's what I thought whenever he first reversed time. I was like, damn, he went fuck everything except for Lois, I guess.
Which would be, kind of cool.
Right?
Like,
Would be kind of cool.
would
But
be
also
good.
disagree with it. I like that whenever...
for sure.
I like that you called her Miss T, by the way. It's just easier to say. I like that
Miss T.
whenever Miss T saved him and he said, yep, I will save your mother first. He kept his damn word. He tells the truth.
I love that about Superman. That's cool. Because why not?
Because I was wondering if he was going to. I was really wondering if he was going to do that and then
I
immediately
didn't
just
even
go
question
to Lois.
him. I didn't
Well-
even have a single doubt with Superman,
Yeah.
baby. I knew for sure. The ending was so rushed that maybe we didn't need to spend 30 minutes on Krypton.
No.
Maybe
Hell no.
maybe 30 extra minutes at the end of the
My
movie would have been
God.
better.
The movie is so slow, man. It's crazy.
For a long
like you
time.
said, the first hour, I'd like to throw it in the fucking trash and just let's get. Maybe Marvel's ruined me. Maybe I'm a popcorn muncher. I don't know. I
You're
question
saying
that.
let's
in this
start with
movie.
Superman.
Nah, I don't even know about that. Like, I'll agree, some exposition's nice. It's a little bit cool to see what's going on. I like the mom and pop shots, you know? It's nice to see him on the farm. It's good to see him in high school. It's good to see some of that. I
Well,
didn't need
whenever
30
the
minutes of
planet's
Krypton.
blowing up on Krypton, I don't need to see them running for their lives.
No.
Because I know that it's futile.
Yes.
So, like, I don't even care at that point. They send Kal-El. They're like, you'll be safe at least. They send him away. There's no other spaceships around.
No,
I
then
hate
you
that.
get the death montage.
And you get
It's
the
like
death
I
montage.
get it.
Yeah, the planet blowing up would have showed me the same thing.
Yeah.
Why run? I'm sorry. That's how I feel about life. You know, if I'm in a situation where my death is not only guaranteed logically, but scientifically too, like it's, you know, there's zero chance of them surviving
I'm
anything,
locked
right?
into the death, yes.
Yeah, because Jor-El didn't say the planet's going to have massive earthquakes that will kill most of the people. He said this bitch blowing up.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't matter if I'm going to my closet, my garage, my basement. It doesn't matter if I'm gonna go down the street to a bunker. This bitch is blowing up, and I just sent my boy on the last spaceship out of here. It's, you know, why even run? Just sit in that room and hold your wife and just fucking die, dude. Just
Take it like a man, brother.
Take it like a man. You know, maybe I'll give this movie a 6 out of 7. Six to 7 out of 10. The 7 is solely nostalgia. Even though I didn't watch it, I can still sense it. I thought this was a beautiful piece of art, and I can tell that it started the superhero genre. And I thought it did a lot of things right, but it is dated. It's dated.
It's real dated.
It's not even so much even like special effects dated. It's like character performance dated, you know, because whenever you watch something like Citizen Kane, it's not dated.
No.
They don't act like they're in a cartoon.
Right.
Granted, you know, there's not a lot of special effects in Citizen Kane, so they can get away with a lot of stuff more, you know, but
I think
it's not made for children. And
right. I think I would say this movie almost struggles with an identity. And it doesn't know whether to take itself seriously or not.
That's
at a lot of parts.
It's a shame you didn't watch the second movie. Because
but in a way, I'm glad I didn't, because
everything you have said could be applied to the second movie.
Really?
I think so.
That's interesting. Well, I'm glad that I didn't watch this. I'm glad I watched this just as a standalone, and I got the true, like, if this came out in 1970, or if I was in 1978 right now, and I watched this in a movie theater, I would like to think I would think the same things about it right now. I'd probably think it's badass, actually, because it's the first. I was reading it had a $55 million budget, which is the highest budget of a film. It's the most expensive film ever made up to that point.
Right.
Which is crazy because it looks bad. It looks that bad.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't even know how they do it. Like, how do you show him flying?
I don't know.
Because, like, I get, like, it's him and then the background are separate things. Him flying looks okay. I never thought it was awful.
I never thought it was completely terrible, but there were parts where it looked janky.
They used a lot of miniatures. A lot of set pieces in this movie are great, though. The farm, Lex Luthor's base, Krypton itself, the Fortress of Solitude are amazing, amazing places.
Yeah,
but,
I didn't like Krypton that much. I didn't like the Fortress of Solitude a whole lot either. I'm just not a big, like you said, I might be biased. I'm not a big crystal guy.
Not a big crystal guy.
Don't care about it.
I didn't take any notes of Superman 2, but I'd like to just tell you about it, you know.
Yeah, give me a little bit. Give me a
I
little
don't know.
taste of
Maybe
it.
maybe this could be the end of the episode, and this could be a bonus episode. We'll see. We'll talk about it. Um, Superman 2. So it starts with a dude explaining Superman 2 on HBO Max. It was like,
Uh-huh.
it's just a guy sitting down. He's like, we're doing the second movie with Christopher Reeves, and Richard Donner started it, and then he got fired, and they switched directors, which I can tell. I
God.
can tell. You can
Why?
tell this movie has it has 2 to 3 identities, and there's
Yeah.
not like a single complete thought. Everything feels like an incomplete sentence, and whenever I go through the plot, you'll be able to tell.
Why did he get fired?
I don't know. That's a
Okay.
good question, because I wanted to look that up.
Right. I
Why did
I would be curious to know. Just
Okay.
cuz
Due to creative differences and conflicts with producers Isla and Alexander Salkind, particularly concerning control over the film's direction and budget. Okay, that makes sense because the direction is aimless now. It's bad. So the movie starts, Bobby, and it's like in the middle of a scene. I was like, can't wait for another 10-minute intro scene. Now, this may be like a weird glitch with HBO Max or something, and maybe
Yeah.
the guy talking took up the time, the intro. It
Right.
starts with like Lois Lane on the Eiffel Tower, and she's like trying to spy on somebody, and they cut a wire, and a nuclear bomb gets launched, and Superman takes the nuclear bomb, throws it up in space, and then it blows up and sends him back to Earth. But the shockwave goes through space, and it hits the piece of Phantom Zone glass that is holding Zod, Ursa, and Non, and frees them. Okay? So, they're just now in space. It goes like to... This whole movie is about Superman and Lois Lane trying to form a relationship. This movie's about a lot of things, but it's about Superman and Lois Lane, a lot of it. They're going to do this one thing where they are going to do an expose on this honeymoon place at Niagara Falls. So they're pretending to be a couple, right?
Right.
Okay. They're at Niagara Falls, and Superman gets water on his glasses. He takes his glasses off, and Lois is like, just looking at him. I'm looking at the camera. She's just like, Superman? And she's like, go get me a hot dog. So he goes and gets a hot dog, and a kid falls over the side of Niagara Falls. Superman, of course, comes and saves the kid. And then Lois is like, oh, Superman. Wait, Superman, it's Lois Lane. Talk to me. He flies away. Clark comes back with the hot dog. And Lois is like, it's crazy how every time you're gone, Superman appears. Like, why is even Superman at Niagara Falls, you know?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, that is weird. They do a hilarious scene where Lois is like, I'm 100% sure you're Superman. I'd bet my life on it. And she jumps over, not Niagara Falls, but the river part. Okay?
Right.
So she is just going down this river drowning. And Clark is like, oh, God. Oh, golly gee. And is not saving her. And this whole time I was like, bro, you wanted to tell her in the first movie, just save her. She's literally fucking dying.
Yep.
So he uses heat vision for the first time. Okay.
Interesting.
And he like cuts a piece of a tree off, and it falls in the river, and she grabs it. And then he goes and like saves her as Clark Kent, and then he almost drowns. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything I just said is then undone in the next scene where they are in their honeymoon suite, and there's an open fireplace, and Clark trips and falls in the fireplace and then reflexively jerks his hand out of it. And Lois is like, oh my God, let me see your hand. And it's not burned. And she's like, you are Superman. And he's like, dadgunnit. Yeah, I am. And I was just like,
What a
why
bad
even...
reveal. That sounds terrible.
It was bad, dude. Because I was just like, why did you... I would be so pissed.
Well,
if I was Lois Lane, I'd be like, why didn't you fucking save me faster? I was
And
in the
it's
goddamn Niagara Falls River.
like you said, he almost told her in Superman 1, and Lois Lane
Uh-oh.
pretty much figures it
Oh.
out at the end of Superman 1 as well. It's crazy that she number one in Superman 1 he does reveal almost reveal to her that, I am Superman actually while he's
He
Clark Kent,
obviously wants
like
to.
you said. And then 2, she pretty much figures it out at the end of the movie anyway.
Pretty much.
Of
Right?
Superman 1.
Yeah. And she, I mean, why is Superman at Niagara Falls? You know?
Right.
So it was lame. So the whole time this is happening, Zod and his gang are in space, and there's this really cool scene where they land on the moon, and there's like all kinds of astronauts on the moon today for some reason. There's like a Russian guy and some American people, and they have interactions with them, and like one of the dudes is like, I think I just saw a chick or a girl, and it's the girl. And they just cause havoc on the moon. They just kill the astronauts, and they fly to space, or they fly to Earth, trying to get to Houston because they, they think the astronauts are like, Houston, we have a problem, blah blah blah. So they're flying to Earth. They land in some small hick town, and they just immediately start causing problems. Like cops try and come and mess with them. They have like super weird powers. Like not only can they do what Superman can, they have heat vision too. Zod just like telekinesis grabs the shotgun out of a cop's hands and pulls it to him. So they all it's like the tactile telekinesis, which is officially Superman's actual powers. And
Right.
but it's just never used like telekinesis ever in comic books. Because that's just not the point of Superman. He's just got to be a strong dude. So they're just doing that, and it just keeps cutting back and forth between Zod and Superman. So Superman takes Lois Lane to the Fortress of Solitude, and he's showing her everything, and he's explaining to her the lore of Superman. He explains and this is when he explains hey, I found a crystal, and it led me here, and it made this place, and blah blah blah. And they're having like a pretty good time, and Lois is like, because like I actually like how anytime Lois and Superman talks in these movies, because like it's really sweet. Because like Lois is like, I'm in love with you, dude. Like I'm in love with Superman.
Right.
And he's just really charming. He's like, well, because at first he's like, we got a lot to talk about. And then she's like, I'm in love with you. And he's like, well, then we really have a lot to talk about. He's like, why don't you come with me to my house? Yeah. So they're like about to kiss, still haven't kissed yet. Okay. And she's like, let me go change into something more comfortable. I was like, oh, we're getting horny again in Superman 2. But not nearly as much as Superman 1. So then it shows Clark. He goes over to his crystal computer, and he's talking to his mom. I found out they cut every Marlon Brando scene in this movie because they didn't want to pay him any money. So there was going to be a bunch of Marlon Brando scenes in this movie, and they just cut them. So
that's insane. That's crazy.
I could see. So anytime they're cutting back and forth between Superman and Lois, and then Zod and the gang, right? And they're just terrorizing the small town at this point.
Mm-hmm.
There also is a bunch of Lex Luthor scenes where he escapes from prison. He finds the Fortress of Solitude. He does some bullshit. They leave Otis behind in prison. It's just all very minor. Like he's really big in the first act, and then he just doesn't show up forever until like the very end. So he's talking to his mom on the crystal computer, and he's like just telling his mom about Lois. He's like, I love her. And she's like, well, if you're going to be with a human, you have to become mortal. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. And she's like, okay, well, here's a machine that will turn you mortal. It'll turn you just basically into a human, and it's irreversible. You'll just lose all your powers forever. Mm-hmm. And she's like, are you sure you want to do it? And he's like, I do. And Lois comes out at this point, and she's hearing the end of the conversation. And he's like, I love her. I'll do anything for her. So he's like, okay. So he goes in the anti-Superman machine and gets de-Superman, and it's like it's shot really strange where like he splits into Clark Kent. Like it shows like the after image of like Superman. It even changes his outfit back to the Clark Kent outfit, even though he was in the Superman outfit. And he comes out, and the whole time I was thinking, I was like, which he doesn't know Zod's on the planet, but the whole time I was thinking, I was like, why does he have to become a human?
Yeah.
You know, like I don't.
What's the reason behind it?
Also, this is date number 1. Like, what if I was like, Lois ain't gonna be cool with this? Because
What if it don't pan out?
Yeah, what if it don't pan out? It's forever. I was like, is Lois more important than saving the planet? Just in general, not even
Right.
with Zod and the gang. So he gets de-Superman. They immediately, so they cut the Zod, or she's like, you do that for me, and he's like, of course, blah blah blah. She's just like, wow.
I know. Once again, I know Clark really cares about Lois, but like that's almost un-Superman like of him to be like, yeah, I could help all these people. That's what I'm here for. But yeah, actually, I'm good. I'll just settle it down. I'll turn it in right now.
It's a little strange. It'd be different if like he left the world in like a better place, and sometimes they do that in comics. So it's like Superman did it. He can be a human now. I think in like one of the CW shows, they do that with the Smallville Superman. Like an evil Lex Luthor is going across the multiverse to kill all the Superman. He tries to get the Smallville Superman to kill him. He's grown up now. He's like a kid in the TV show. Now he's like a 40-year-old man. And Lex Luthor tries to kill him with kryptonite. It just doesn't work on him anymore because he's human. And he's like, you gave up your powers? Why? And Lex Luthor steps on a kid's toy. And he's like, really? And Superman's just like, yeah, some things are just more important. And Lois and his kid calls him in for dinner. And it's like, I do like that. That is nice,
Yeah.
Like, I do want characters to get happy endings. And like that's great for Smallville Superman. I'm glad that he got closure in his TV show years later. But it is weird, like this is their first date. He's giving up his powers. I was just like, dang, bro, you crazy. You whip like crazy, bro. Bro, do anything for the Lois Lane Lucy, So then it cuts to Zod, and they're just fucking up a small town. The militaries came now, and they're not even like... It's just so funny how it's portrayed because, they could be like blowing up the planet. They could be going hog wild, right? But they're just like dicking off in this town. They're not even like destroying anything that people... It's just whenever people attack them, they just fuck them up. And it's like, how much... It's the same exact thing that happens in Man of Steel. Except Man of Steel has a budget of $200-300 million, and it's made in an era of computer graphics. So it looks way better,
Right.
They feel way more threatening whenever they are attacking Smallville in 2013 than 1982 or whenever this was. But they're just not even malicious, like to the point where a news crew comes and they're like interviewing them, and Zod is like, who can see this? And they're like, oh, the whole planet. And he's like, okay, you can continue. And he's just like getting filmed. And after they fuck up a little bit, it cuts back to Lois and Clark in bed. And I'm led to believe that they had sex, and due to the events of Superman Returns, he impregnated Lois on this one night. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They leave the Fortress of Solitude. They drive, which this also makes no sense. I was like, man, how are you going to get out of the Fortress of Solitude if you can't fly, homie? It just shows them in a car the next scene. I was just like, bro.
Yeah.
You drove from the Arctic Circle to like Montana? Like, what is going on?
Right.
They get to a diner. Lois Lane immediately gets hit on by another dude. Clark, very out of character, says, why don't we take this outside? And
Freaks
doesn't
on.
even make it outside. Gets his ass beat. Destroyed. Gets
Really?
back up. gets beat again, like getting beat to a pulp, and like he spazzes. He's like, his lips bleeding, his face is all cut up, and he's like, my blood. Like he just spazzes out. And like he tries to make a joke. He's like, maybe we need to hire a bodyguard. And Lois says, I just want the man that I fell in love with. And this is like what made me think. I was like, man, if I was Clark Kent, I'd be like, God damn it, dude. Like,
Yep.
bitches need Superman out here. But in this moment, it's like, bro, who do you think you are trying to mess with this redneck? So instantly they are regretting the choice of him giving up his powers. It then cuts to like the TV turns on in the diner where they had their bar fight, and it's Zod. It's the president being like, I'm giving Earth to Zod. I've talked to every other country. Zod wants the Earth. We're giving it to him. Because there was like some Zod sit where he went to the White House, and there's some good scenes here and there. Okay. But it's all just tied really poorly together between this really weird Lois and Clark giving up their powers. Like the whole movie is just this really weird rigmarole. So Clark is just like, God damn, dude, what a bad day to give up my powers, get my ass beat, and the world's taken over by Zod. And he's like, man, this is bad. I need to fix this. He hitchhikes back to the Fortress of Solitude. Okay? The Arctic Circle, Bobby. And nobody's picking him up. Lois Lane just goes back to Metropolis. Okay? And it then shows a scene of Clark making it to the Fortress of Solitude, and he finds another crystal, a new crystal. And then it cuts to the White House, and Zod is just in the White House. And then here comes Lex Luthor. First time we've seen him in like 40 minutes. And Lex Luthor convinces Zod that, you know, keep me alive. I want Australia. That was like his evil plan this movie. He's like, give me Australia and I'll help you out. And they're like, we don't need your help. And he's like, I know Superman inside and out. And they're like, okay. Because Zod's just like, everybody's just been telling Zod, like, you just wait until Superman gets a hold of your dumbass, dude, and you'll be fucking sorry then. And he's like, well, tell him to come on. And, like, in this movie, it's like, is Superman gone for 3 months? Like, what? Is this just one day again? Like, I have no idea. So Lex Luthor then tells Zod, I know stuff about Superman. Next scene is Zod and the gang just bashing up the Daily Planet, and it looks bad. I'll just be straight up. So they have Non, okay, who can't talk. He cannot speak. He speaks in grunts. He's the muscle of this group, okay? Right. General Zod is the leader. Ulsa is the bad bitch, and Non is like the big caveman dummy, right? He's just like breaking desks and throwing chairs through windows. But it's like, these are Supermen. Like, this should be looking crazy style, and it just doesn't. Like, this, there, it's like legitimately maybe like $10,000 worth of property damage, and that's it. And Lex Luthor comes in. He's like, "Yeah, that's Lois Lane. That's Superman's bitch. If you get her, then Superman definitely will come." And then, wouldn't you know it, floating outside the window, there's Superman. Okay, no explanation on how he got his powers back, even though it was like 100% irreversible. We just have no idea. It doesn't say anything. They don't go into it at all. He's just Superman again. Okay? They fight. They're in a fight. Superman starts running away. And they're like, Jesus Christ, Superman's a coward. And people are like pissed at Superman. Like, fucking running away, pussy. Like, civilians that are watching this are like, I can't. And like other people's like, no way Superman would run away. It ain't even possible, dude. So all he does, so Zod's like, Jesus Christ, he's a coward. All right, kill Luthor. And Luthor's like, wait, I know where he went. I know the address to the Fortress of Solitude, right? He takes them to the Fortress of Solitude. They take Lois too as extra leverage. They then get into this crazy fight where this is where like all these Superman powers are coming from. Like, one dude jumps the big dude jumps at Superman, and he takes the emblem off of his chest, like a hologram of his image, and throws it at him, and it turns into like a physical sheet of plastic, and it wraps him up and then disappears. And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? And then like they all like point at Superman to try and telekinesis him, and he just holds his hand out and pushes it back. They start teleporting. They like teleport right all around Superman, and then Superman does a shadow clone jutsu and becomes 4 Supermen. But each one's different. Like they punch one and he just disappears like a ghost, and then they punch another one and it's like a statue. It turns into a statue of Superman, and they start. It just doesn't even look good. It's just not that tense. I just didn't even have that much fun. I mean, like it should be crazy. Like 4 Kryptonians are throwing down. Nothing gets broken. And like I get it. This movie's old. They can't do what they do now. But like even practical effects wise, you can't like punch through the wall. You can't show me like this guy getting thrown through a wall or something.
Yeah.
This place is made out of crystals, dude. Drop a giant crystal on somebody or something. So they get a hold of Lois and they're like, give up or we're just going to instantly kill Lois. And he's like, okay, I give up. And then they're like, okay, let's kill Luthor now too. And Luthor's like, wait, don't. And they're like, Superman like whispers to Luthor. He's like, we need to trick him. And at this point I was like, they all have super hearing. Why are you whispering? You know, who is this for? It's just really stupid. He whispers to Luthor, get them in this machine. It'll take away their powers. And Zod's like, what are y'all whispering about? And Superman's like, nothing. Stay away from this. And Luthor goes, it's a trap. He's trying to get you to go in that thing. It'll take away your powers. And Superman's like, you dirty dog. You know, Luthor, you backstabbing bitch. They make Superman get into the take away your power machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it lights up exactly the same as it did the last time. And he gets out, and Zod's like, kneel before Zod. And Superman kneels. And then, they think he's like a pussy now. And so Zod's like, give me your hand. And Zod tries to like crush his hand, and Superman crushes his hand. So while Superman, behind the scenes, off screen, Superman reworked the depower, and made it to where inside of it is the only safe place, and the outside would take away your powers. So it was his plan all along to get inside the machine, and he knew Luthor would double cross him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now Zod and all the gang, they just don't have their powers. So they just kick their fucking asses, and they just fall into the pits of the Fortress of Solitude. And then Superman and Lois leave. And then for some reason they break up. They're like, we can't be together. And Clark's like, I love you, Lois. And Lois is like, don't do this to me. I don't know how you expect me to react. You come in here. And Superman kisses her. And I was like, okay, they're going to make it work. And somehow his kiss mind wipes her of the past month they spent together. So she then forgets that Clark is Superman. She just doesn't know anything. She just loses a whole month of her memory. Like, right. I don't think she remembers Zod or anything. And then it's just Superman, just start fixing shit from where Zod and them blew it up. And he puts the flag back on the White House. And then the movie ends. And I was like, God damn, I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't watch that shit. It sounds like honestly, I would be excited to watch the new Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't know anything about it. Thank God. I don't want to know anything about it.
I don't know a thing.
I think it would be sick. I don't know if I will ever watch the second Superman, like 1980 Superman. Well, I don't know if I will ever watch 1978 Superman again unless I have to for some reason. I think this was about enough for me, which sucks because I like this dude's name is Christian Reeve, right?
Yeah, Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeve, that's right. I like Christopher Reeve's Superman a lot. Like I do agree that I mean, I grew up with a different Superman, but he's so iconic as Superman that he is Superman.
Which, you know, and it's funny, the Superman that you are talking about is Christopher Reeves too. Like in the continuity, like they are
Right.
apparently the same Superman. So that's
Yeah.
how iconic he is that
Yep.
he transcended casting almost, you know?
Yep. Yep. So
Like they found Brandon, I think his name's Brandon Ruth, maybe Roth. It's
to play
Routh
Christopher Reeves
to
playing
play
Superman.
Christopher. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And he
It's
looks a lot like him, you
he
know?
does. He really does. And I think that's probably part of the reason why I'm so I don't want to say biased towards Christopher Reeves still, but I appreciate him, which I think everybody does. I think I didn't want to mention it in the beginning, but it would be a shame to go through a Superman podcast talking about, his Superman without mentioning the tragedy of Christopher Reeves. Always has made me sad.
I thought, yes, even like as a small child who really
Yeah.
didn't even
It's
understand.
it's so sad that literally Superman
Mhm.
had such a tragic accident in his life that
Yeah.
led him to, being paralyzed and ultimately dying at a fairly young age.
Yeah.
It is very sad. Even then, I was on a Wikipedia rabbit hole the other day about his wife, Mrs. Reeves. She died of lung cancer as well, very young.
Wow.
Like I think within a few years after Christopher Reeves.
Oh, wow.
Just very sad, very very sad. But he's phenomenal in these movies. Did he play through 4? I know you said there was 4
Yeah.
Superman movies.
Yeah.
So he played through 4 of them. I hate to say it. I mean, I think he did well with probably what he had. And he did play Superman well, but I didn't love this movie. I thought it was good for, I guess, what it is. But it has all the issues that, I mentioned earlier. I think it has a hard time with its identity. And it seems like the second movie has just as much issue. And I don't think it takes itself... It's not that I don't think it takes itself seriously, because it clearly doesn't have to. Like, none of the Marvel movies take themselves seriously, and there's some pretty good Marvel movies. But
Right.
it goes back and forth between, like, what message it's trying to convey and who its audience is for.
Right. And that was like the dude that's talking in the beginning of Superman 2 for me on HBO Max. He's like, yeah, this movie has a much darker tone. And I was like excited. I was like, oh yeah, where's it at? I don't
Right.
get it. I don't think it's not as dark as the first one. Lois Lane dying in the first movie is darker than anything that happens in the second one.
Right.
So I don't even know.
But
Shout out to Christopher Reeves though, because I think after his accident, I always heard that he was still a very public being, and he did
he
a
was
lot of.
Yep,
I mean,
he
like,
was an advocate. I was
he-
reading, and he ended up getting into either producing or directing or writing or all of the above. He was very much active in Hollywood still.
Yeah, and I saw that he appeared in some Smallville episodes, and he did a lot of stuff. But I think he maintained a strong will, and even through the accident, which is very extremely admirable.
Yeah,
Just something I can't even barely perceive.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to find out when his accident happened.
I think
'Cause,
it was sometime in the 90s, I want to say. But I could be
that's what I
wrong. I know
thought.
he died in 2000 something.
Let me see here.
But yeah, it's very sad. It's always made me sad about Christopher
In 1995.
Reeves. Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Oh, wow. He landed on a fence, and it shattered the first and second vertebrae of his neck.
I didn't know that. That is awful. I mean, I knew
Wow.
that he was in a horse accident, and I'm sure he got bucked off,
Par-
but I didn't know he landed on a fence.
paramedics arrived 3 minutes later. That's very quick
Mm.
time for
Yeah.
paramedics. But like even though like I said, 1995, in 2004 he directed a film. In 2003 he was in, he was doing the damn thing.
Right.
So
Yep.
shout out to him.
Big
Respect.
shout out.
He's very goated. He has mad aura. He's a great Superman.
Yeah.
He has what a look.
Yeah.
People would dream to look like he did. His face, amazing face. 6'4", big stout dude. Pretty sick. I think I would. I don't know if I'd ever watch. I don't think I'd ever watch these movies again either. However, I am interested in finding the Donner cut and seeing the differences.
Right.
It would be worth it to me to see that.
That would be cool. And then I think I'd be really excited to see the new Superman movie.
Oh
And
yeah,
check out what's happening with it. See what kind of directions they go. Because like I said, I really don't have any idea of anything about it, and I don't even know much about Superman to begin with. Period. So I'm a super casual Superman enjoyer. But
well, now is the time as ever to get into them because
Yeah.
it seems like from what I'm seeing, Superman 2025 is a huge hit. It's a
he is kind of hot
success
right now.
It's
The man is on fire.
I saw that it was rated. It's getting better ratings than Fantastic Four, which I'm
That's
kind of
crazy
shocked
to think about.
because I thought Fantastic Four was going to be the blockbuster of the summer, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. So, and that's very exciting. We get to see the start of the DCU under the direction of James Gunn, and see how it competes with this new era of Marvel movies in the superhero schlock fest that is going on in the modern age of cinema. And I say that as a true as a big huge fan of these superhero movies, but we'll see if they can exceed the fatigue that everybody has that I fear. I thought it was over. I thought
For superhero movies,
yeah, and I was like, well,
I was worried, and I'm
really
not
got
gonna.
the Sean to
Yeah,
see
I'm not gonna
this.
give it to him yet. I'm not quite relieved. We'll see how these go and how they're received. I
Well-
probably will end up watching the Superman movie while it's in theaters. Maybe. I definitely plan on watching Fantastic Four just because I'm interested in it. But I don't know. I've been disappointed by a lot of superhero movies lately.
Well, unfortunately, I missed the Thunderbolts because I heard it was a banger.
It was supposed to be good. Yeah, I missed it as well. But
But I'm fatigued as a fan.
Right.
So-
Yeah. And Marvel has put out such garbage lately that I am hesitant. I don't even care if they put out Thunderbolts could be a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 movie, and they've put out enough shit to make me hesitant on it, and I'm probably like I had full intentions of watching it on Disney Plus. I never intended to go and watch it in the movie theater.
Me neither. I didn't think it was going to be good at all.
Yeah.
But I'm a DC fan at heart. I love
Yeah.
DC. I'm excited to see Superman. I'm very, very invested in who they're going to cast as Batman, and it seems like nobody on this planet has even doesn't even have a clue. So
Right.
it's going to be a complete shock to the world when they do.
Yeah.
We could end it right here, but I was just thinking about Man of Steel and how I will say, even though these two Superman movies aren't, I don't think they're great. They might be iconic, but they still just seem like the better direction than what Man of Steel was trying to do. and
Mm-hmm.
hate on me for saying that if you want. I know they have a huge fan base for whatever reason. It's kind of crazy they do even now.
Right.
So yeah, that it just makes me more excited to see what the new one's like, because I feel like they're gonna try and do more of what the originals were going for.
Yep.
And I only got to see like an hour of Superman Returns today, and I'd forgotten most of it. It's worth the watch. You should go rewatch it.
Yeah. I may that may be one I check out.
And it's it's
Um.
it's kind of fun thinking like, oh, this is the sequel to the old ones, because it doesn't have a lot to do with them, but it's so cool seeing this Superman with the effects of 2006, because like immediately I was like, wow, the action is just so much better. It is just
I bet
so.
it's well polished almost.
Oh my god, dude! It's like there's two scenes in it that I've seen within the first hour and 10 minutes that are two of the best Superman scenes I've ever seen. I think they're better than maybe anything in Man of Steel, maybe. But it's him catching a plane from falling out of the sky, and then the next one is somebody is about to Gatling gun, shoot some police officers, and he
Uh-huh.
swoops in and he stands in front of it, and then he just walks towards it, and the bullets are just bouncing off, and then it's the very iconic scene of the guy pulls out a pistol and shoots him in the eye, and it's a slow-mo close-up of the bullet just flattening on his eyeball, and it's like,
Mm.
yeah, that's sick, dude. That's
Yeah.
Superman.
Superman can be sick. He can be tight.
Well,
But
should we tell him what's in the future? Tell him next week episode, or are
uh
we gonna keep it a secret?
we can either way, whatever your preference is.
You still down with what we decided?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. Well,
I don't remember it exactly, but yeah, I remember some of the things, the ideas that we had. So yeah, if you'd like to talk about some of it, feel free.
yeah. Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed talking about Superman. Maybe one day we'll do the new Superman review. Please catch us next week as we review Inglourious Bastards. Thank you.
I forgot it was Inglorious Bastards. I'm breaking the fourth wall here. I'm fucking pumped for Inglorious Bastards.
Me too.
That'll be a
And
sick movie. Yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. Yeah, we thank you so much, and yeah, we hope you have a good rest of your evening and night. And we will see you in the next one very extremely shortly. Peace.
peace.